All right, guys, we got a head-to-head sniper competition. John, you brought the rifles?
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and get them.
All right.
And let's lay down in the prone.
Here, I got you.
What are you
Good luck.
You're gonna have to hold real high on that.
Something about...
It's a 22.
It's all I had.
Are you kidding me right now?
It's the Indian, not the arrow.
You can get to where you're going in a Geo Metro. I'm pulling for you too, little buddy.
Let's do this. Well, that was good. Let me see what I can do here. There we go. Center. Paul's was a little low. Paul!
I'm leaving. Stupid.
This is why you don't do competitions with Paul. He finds some pesky little reason why he was cheated, and then he stalks off mad.
633 grain, full metal jacket. It gets it done. America.
Paul! What's happening, folks? I am joined with Josh, one of our Warrior Poet Society instructors. You do rifle, pistol, room clearing stuff. And
yeah.
As a Green Beret, he's been doing snipery stuff.
This right here is ballistic therapy. I'm bonding with nature. I'm bonding with steel.
Sounds
And I'm...
That sounds super What I want Josh to give us today is 3 ways to tighten up our groups. A few of these things I think are going to shock you. Very first one, talk to him about natural point of aim.
Absolutely. Right? So a lot of times when we get behind a rifle, we, as a type A personality or somebody who's really trying to shoot the bullseye, we will muscle a rifle or a rifle scope into the center of the target. And by virtue of us using muscular tension to move a gun where it doesn't naturally want to rest, when the gun detonates and it goes into its momentum phase of like letting the round go out the gun, it's going to move itself back to the position where it naturally wanted to rest. We miss quite a few of our bullseyes or our small groups that we could have attained by not having a good natural point of aim. And one of the best ways to talk about natural point of aim, that when we get behind the gun, see, John is not, he's actually doing right. So John, what I want you to do is slide your hips over to your left slightly.
Gun bunny prone?
Gun bunny prone. This is going to be on Nickelodeon. Most of us, we typically get in this like 45-degree camp because it's a comfortable position for us, right? And so if we take a look at how much of your frame you actually have behind the rifle, we only have about this much of your shoulder and the rest of your body is canted off to the left. So when this gun goes to kick, it's going to move to its path of least resistance, right? There's a small pocket right here underneath your clavicle. Stick your finger right there real quick.
So I don't have,
You're
maybe
so
my
massive.
chest muscle's too big.
All right, well, for the rest of us normal folks, and not Paul either, because Paul's a C cup. All right, so as we take a look, John has shifted his hips over to the right here, and his body and his frame is directly in line with the rifle system. So now when the rifle recoils, we are more apt to make the rifle track straight to the rear and straight back forward. John, take a look down there and find me something small, probably fist-size object down there out in the field.
Got it.
Close your eyes once you're stationary on it, and then count to about 1,000, 2,000, and then reopen your eyes and see if you have drifted.
No.
John, what I want you to do is shift your hips to me about 2 inches. All right, and now I want you to go back to that same point and see if you have to struggle a little bit.
Oh, I do.
You do, right?
Yeah.
From here, John knows that in order to rest naturally upon that small target, he's going to have to shift his frame. So let's go ahead and shift our hips back to the left a little bit.
Oh, thank you.
This technique right here from the prone position is a great way to, every time you set up, build a good natural point of aim. Our next point from natural point of aim is going to be talking about parallax. All right, and parallax is the apparent shift or movement of our target and in reference to our aiming device or our reticle, right? So we have, if you were to place your fingers out in front of you, if my lead finger here is my target and this is my reticle. If I were to move or change the location of my head, because they're not on the same focal plane, all right, if I move or change reference to my head, and now I have to move my finger over here to line back up, the same thing happens in our rifle scope.
I see all the time on all these different optics, parallax free. What do you think? No parallax.
Yeah, it's just not true. Anytime you have a lens that light has to bend or refract through, it's going to be some parallax in it, whether it's minimal or whether it's a lot. But the one rule of thumb to look at, John, that I would say to everybody is the higher magnification that you go up, the more that you can induce in it if you're not careful.
And so some of these really good, glass manufacturers, they're reducing parallax better than other scopes.
Yes.
But they can't eliminate it.
You can't eliminate it, but you can get it close, and we're going to talk about that. A reticle is actually a lens here inside of the scope. But our target image remains up here on the objective. And so as light comes through the objective, it flips, comes through the reticle, flips again, and then comes out the ocular lens and flips one more time. So the image that you're peering at has flipped at least twice before it gets to your eye. And so in order for us to get parallax out, or as close as we can, we have an ocular ring adjustment. So this houses the lens, the ocular lens, and this is our, what they call, some people call it a side focus, but the real name for this knob is actually the parallax knob. So that's the first thing we have to go to, is we have to manipulate that to our eye spec. So go ahead and hop down behind the rifle real quick. Now, I've already set this to me, so if you've got close to perfect vision, you're going to be pretty close to the master right here. But, just hold your horses.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, so if you're behind the gun, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just make this blurry intentionally, okay?
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad because it's a higher end scope. Now, if I were to manipulate this ocular ring all the way in, is the reticle still clear?
The reticle is more clear, but the target is fuzzy.
All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to manipulate with your support hand, this hand right here, and I want you to manipulate that ocular lens until that reticle is as clear as it can possibly get. Go bold with it. Go like full half turn and see where you're at, full half turn. And then you're going to get to a position where it's getting fuzzy again, right? So you'll head back.
I'm happy there.
You're happy there. All right. You've set the reticle to be as clear as it can be, right?
Yeah.
And now what we have to manipulate is, we'll talk about this side focus. So now you're going to adjust this side focus till you get the clearest image at that range that you can get. At this point, I don't necessarily want you focusing on the reticle. I want you focusing on the target image. A lot of the time when you do this, if you guys are doing this at home, make sure that you do this at the highest magnification setting. And the reason we do that is that the most amount of parallax is always going to come out at the higher magnification setting. All right, you're set?
Yep.
All right, now we're going to shift our focus back to the reticle. Take a look at just the reticle. Is it still crisp and clear?
It's still crisp and clear.
All right.
So you go here, here, here.
So you go back and forth.
That's great. Okay.
All right, and then
I have not had any system to how I've done this before.
And
I'd always set this like ocular lens on night vision. Well, actually, for tuning night vision goggles, you go here, here, back here. It's the same process.
It's the same process. You can do this at any range, guys, but I always recommend that you do it at a baseline of about 100 yards, but here we have 167.4.
167.4.
Yep.
I did my internal rangefinder.
So, but as long as you know the range that you're setting this at, you would make sure that your parallax knob would line up with the range once you set that. Now, the final test for this, John, is to get behind the gun, keep it stationary. So fixate on that one point that we had earlier for the natural point of aim.
I got it.
All right, and without moving the rifle, I want you to slowly move your head up and down and tell me if the reticle walks against the target image. What we should see is that no matter where we place our head in the optic, the reticle does not move against the target image.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this.
Because so your reticle is pretty much stationary on that one spot, right?
Yeah.
All right. And from here, a lot of your scopes have an an adjustment or Allen screws or something similar, just as you would for your elevation and your windage, and you can reset that knob to that desired range. So if we did this at 100 yards, you could go ahead and set your factory baseline setting and zero, so to speak, your parallax setting for that 100-yard setting.
Yeah.
And now the scope is set parallax free for you, and you can work out to range from there. Always remember that as we change range, our parallax setting changes also. So we should be manipulating this every time we change distance on a target.
Groovy.
All right, moving on to the next one. All right, John, the last thing that we can do to help shrink our group size after MPA, after parallax setting our scope, is going to be actually just our follow through on the gun, all right? So actually shooting groups, working on our natural point of aim, actually setting the parallax, and when we squeeze the trigger, we have eyes open through the shot, bang. Some people get a little hesitant when they shoot guns, you know, if they're not used to shooting guns a lot, they'll yank the trigger.
Yeah.
All right, and anytime we input something, an exterior factor to a rifle that we're trying to shoot a small group size, we're not doing ourselves or even the rifle a service.
Copy,
right?
good.
So if you find yourself yanking the trigger when you're shooting your groups, stop yourself, do a cartwheel, whatever it takes to get yourself back on track, and just keep your eyes open through the shot and have fun with it.
Very good.
All right?
I'm gonna do a quick cartwheel and then we'll do the...
Come back. All right, so the next thing, I'm gonna give you a wind call,
Okay.
which there's no wind right now, so when I give you center, you'll just ease on that trigger and break the shot clean, okay?
Let's do it.
All right, hold center. Nice. Good job. Give me one more. Center. Nice. All right, just pick the bolt up. There we go. Shooting the group 101.
Now am I like official Special Forces sniper?
I mean, if I teach you to stalk, yeah, I mean, you might be all right. Well, man, you know, you pretty much got to sell your soul a little bit too. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying that you know how the military is. It's like you really got to be bothered for a while.
I've got some self-loathing. Does that help?
That really helps. That really does help. I think you could. I really do.
Guys, thanks so much for tuning in, hanging out with us at Warrior Poet Society. Josh, thanks for taking us through the way of the rifle and tightening up those groups, man.
Man, I appreciate the time. Hey, guys, I love doing this stuff. Thank you for the opportunity.
Parallax thing, let's go. I like that.
Rear, front, rear.
That's it, guys. That's it. Just do the thing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and toggle notifications bell to all so YouTube can still not give you alert when we post videos because they hate us. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time.